so they say. So greetings to the Star Trek fans, the Trekkers out there, and those who know what's behind actually the Star Trek phenomenon. Reason why I'm doing is my favorite character was Spock. Reason why was, as a child, I must have been 10 or whatever. Loved Kirk, loved the crew, but Spock dressed in blue. I'm from the blue stream, or the blue ray, the Pan type fairy creature look, as in the pointy ears, an elf. And as a child, I wasn't thinking elf, I was just fascinated by a being of a higher mind and emotional control, and as portrayed in the series, the spiritual practice of Vulcans. So that basically intrigued me to train myself and live my life and look at a second world, or a second possibility, as in this material is channeled. Okay, Star Trek is not a movie script. Same goes for Star Wars. Both of these writers studied under the same so-called channel before she released books. Deep Space Nine, actually, for those who know the series, is based on the Council of Nine. The original crew members of Star Trek were 9. So the fascination here was that always a constellation of 9 beings, all different races, getting it together, working as a team and handling the situation, which was very impressive to me in the way it was done. So the proof that Gene Roddenberry studied a channel named Phyllis V. Schlemmer is in this book. It's called The Only Planet of Choice. It's called Essential Briefings from Deep Space. This is channeled material. This is not sci-fi. This is based on the Council of Nine and the being that she channeled. If you want to get that book, again, it's The Only Planet of Choice by the transceiver called Phyllis V. Schlemmer. You'll find that. And I'd like to read something in the beginning to get some points clear. The people should know that the plots that you see in Hollywood, in part, are channeled in order to wake the collective up. So for those who have to go back, the Star Trek phenomenon, which is what nobody understood, is you write a series with a hero, villain, the initiations of the storyline, and the Hollywood plot, how the journey begins, like Cinderella, and then the heroic moments in solving the situation, the initiation and the hero and the conclusion, and actually the happy end and the continuum of that, which is why we're here, which is why you are here. And this is, we have to define that and bring forth now to my friends, I say not fans, my supporters that already know where this is going. This has an intelligent background. This is not for kicks or for games. So I'll read to you, pardon me, where the misconception of alien and extraterrestrial lies, okay? And this comes from a book. It's called ET 111. So get information, get these books, and you'll understand certain plots, as in Star Wars, Star Trek, 2 guys, writers, studying under the same channel, only known to, when you read the books, they're actually mentioned in the channeler's book, at least Gene Roddenberry. That is not just pulled out of thin air. When you read the channelings, you understand how the plot came into the series. I mean, you have to ask yourself the question that we talk about Mount Shasta and beings living under Mount Shasta. We call them the Talons. We have the Argarthians. And then you go back in Gene Roddenberry's script, where all the extraterrestrial races that he could channel in, or let's say where he took notes, amongst that, the first pilot of Star Trek, well, what are we talking about? The Talons, living underground, having elongated skulls, being able to give people holographic inserts. So we wouldn't see the truth for what it is, superior mental capacity and power and thought projection. Well, that's in a movie script that's written in 1965 or maybe even earlier, and happen to be the same beings that other people have channeled even before. The Arcturians are in there, the Cardassians, Many other races you'll find if you get into the almanacs of Star Trek, the insignias and the listings, they're all there. There is basically more than a top 10 of the ones you know, like Sirius, Orion, Vega, Zeta Reticuli. You have Essassani. You have also I've learned Ehani. They are like Arcturian. Mix. You have Mantoid, Cassiopeian system, Templarians. You have many more that I don't even, like I said, Sirius, Sirius A, Sirius B, and there's even a Sirius C. And the Pleiades, the 7-star clusters, which are the Japanese car Subaru. It's based on the Pleiades, even though in the insignia they have 1 star missing, but it's the Pleiade system. The 7 sisters, and it comes back into our life, always bleeding back, reminding us, understand that you're on this earth, but you're not from this earth. Yes, your body and the material is made from this earth, but the consciousness in this carbon-based carrier is not from this planet. So I'll give you a little excerpt of this book to actually help promote, if you can get that. I think it's out of print, but it's phenomenal. And it's talking about level 1 words, and I'll read to you as follows, and I find that it's pretty self-explanatory. Extraterrestrial. An extraterrestrial is not an alien. An alien is an alien. An extraterrestrial is a responsible citizen of the cosmos, not of a foreigner adrift among the stars. Extraterrestrials are representatives of light, protectors of life, and lovers of the planets. They are indigenous to the planet they happen to be on by virtue of their citizenship, regardless of their planet of origin. Many of you have to come to believe that you couldn't possibly be an extraterrestrial because you feel so connected to Earth and love her so much. But here's the fun part. We suggest that if you love this planet at all, you are an extraterrestrial. May we also suggest that your concern for this planet was so great that you cared enough to send the very best, in this case, yourself, to the alignment and restoration of this planet. So alignment, not lineage, defines the meaning of the term extraterrestrial. Although all life emanates from the same source, not all life is aligned with that source. An extraterrestrial is a being who is in sympathetic harmony with the essence of its genesis. Anything that is not aligning to the essence of the genesis of this planet is alien, meaning it's a foreign invasion that's not supposed to be here. So our brothers and sisters would appreciate very much the fact that you would call them star brothers or star beings, travelers or other dimensionals. They are not alien, they're not invading, and they're not foreigners to the system, as they work in symbiosis with that system, trying their very best to help us to restart the memory banks and enhance the system to get this planet going. Although the consciousness, we've been, as an energetic report, through a hump this February, where we all had to go through emotional magnification, recalibration, and new insertion of light particles that come in. And yes, doctors cannot right now look into this or understand these, what we call the ascension symptoms for the sensitives, meaning what you're going through is an alignment to light that is actually coming in with new codes, different guides, different alignments. So those of you already are aware that wake up on ships, communicate with ship crew, have telepathic contact, you're already in contact. So this disclosure, the way you think it'll take place with a ship landing in front of you in physical contact, yeah, that's in part Hollywood movies. Yes, in part we believe that can take place. I myself had contact in physical form at Mount Shasta. I know what's possible. I will get into that also, what that would look like. If you want to find contact places, we suggest to go there. Your belief system is not required for things that will happen that you can't explain. And there are dimensions where military operatives can't even go because the alignment won't even allow it for their consciousness to enter these phases or stages. Also note, because you are the mission member, Some mission members have retained the extraterrestrial sense of meaning, and many find the section of explanation of why they hear a drag or don't believe in it at all. Basically, that's due to the fact that when you come here, like the others, have forgotten everything and require reconstructive surgery. For that, you have the SSani, the Zeta Reticuli. There also is a difference with life forms that are not based on life. They are based on whatever government runs that. You will see that they will not emanate this love frequency. That's when you know you shut your gates. They might look like Zetas, but they're not Zetas. Or they might look reptilian, but they're not actually reptilian. It is to create scare tactics into people's minds and run people in a frenzy. Also, with the shape-shifting aspect, this is like mission control talking to you. Not every lens that is elliptic is based on reptilians. There are reptilians on this kingdom. They have round pupils where the iris opens and have no slits, and they don't even blink because they have no lids. They're different reptilian forms if you want to murk that and milk the reptilian cow. Also, I tell people, like, don't get lost in too much Nuburian and Anunnaki and talk, because I keep saying, party people, none of them Anunnakians, reptilians right now paying my bill, okay? Nobody signs checks right now. So this is all in the etherical realm of possibilities surrounding you, so be careful what you are, put your focal intent on and what you're bringing into this dimension. What are you aligning to? So there are mermaids that have elliptic pupils and slits. Beautiful creatures. You would think that they're reptilian, but they're not really reptilian. They have fins, they have hair. They're interdimensional, mind you. And I don't know if you can put them on camera because, again, it's interdimensional. Most of our cameras are based on three-dimensional light reflections and refractions and diffusions. So I would doubt that you can record them unless they want you to see them in a most spectacular way. And I think once that takes place, whatever being you will film will be directly in direct contact in front of your lens. That is according to the level of your consciousness, where you are, how far you are in your development, letting that happen and letting that in. And that is for you to understand and participate in where the activation lies of, how would you say, where contact is and what that means for you. Interdimensional, you're getting basically picked up every night, and the reconstructive surgery has to do with what timelines are you on, what choices will define the timelines that you design. For those who want to watch a movie that is based on that download, created by another book author that channeled scripts that actually in the end made him lose his mind because he was on overload. He was connecting to believe with a Pleiadian ship and an informational database, and he had to carry a load of information. He's the writer of Johnny Mnemonic, Majority Report, or was it Minority Report? Sorry. And he's the father, you can say, of those who later on brought movies like The Matrix. Wrote the story, it's, I think, William Gibson and another lady, Afro-American woman, that was the core creation of the movie The Matrix trilogy. Also Terminator. All of these things were channeled by a guy named Philip K. Dick. And his books, if you read that stuff, it's mind-blowing. He was one of the first sci-fi novel writers in the 80s that introduced the parallel dimensions, parallel existence, artificially basically inserted technology that'll help you, or that'll have you living in a simulation program that's not the real world. So if you want to investigate those books, that'll enhance your downloads, increase your understanding of what was channeled. If you check the biography of Philip K. Dick, it's just mind-blowing. The guy, he explains, or it is explained, where he's out in the field, a ship stops over him, and it's this red beacon that hits him, and tons of information just are downloaded into him. and he's forced to write these books that are highly technical, highly advanced, where most science fiction writers studied that guy, and even to go to the next level, because I think he was the first one to introduce the next level, which in the end made him a little bit psychotic, because he had what we believe as channel overload and his circuits were fried. Problems that channels in the earlier stages had too much channeling. Look at Edgar Cayce, healing, 17,000 patients, having, 15,000 documented cases of healing that took place, that he was sleeping more, being online, doing his revelations, that in the end had him die early because your circuits fry. The human vessel can take but so much, and now the human vessel is actually being adjusted. I also watched a movie, I think that's based on Philip K. Dick, The Adjustment Bureau, where you have a group of entities that make sure that you stay on a path somewhat in a divine order. So it's a semi-free will on this planet that we're having here. Is the closer you are to the blueprint or the template of what you're supposed to be doing, the more success you will have. Success in the beginning, yes, will not look evident. It'll look very weird, but rest assured, the masses will find you. Do not worry. Maybe you have 30,000 views right now per video, or 2,000 views per video. More people will find you and see what is the fundamental essence of what you're teaching and what you're bringing across, and where is the progress. I myself have a triad, a team of people that I work with that actually is releasing technology that enhances riverbanks, waterways, water structures, any liquid structures that flow, things even of a crystalline, you can say a crystalline ball with a plasmic type water sequencing, that if a river or let's say a lake has a pH level that has dropped into the toxic level, and fish are dying because they can't breathe, we can correct that and bring that back. Also, we can suggest, which is a future story. I wanted to do a extra video on that, but I'll bring that here, so I might repeat myself, so forgive if that happens, is that we have the ability to heal the Gulf Stream. Meaning, as you know, that the current that they measured in the waters has disconnected. This thermal current of that warm water going through the Gulf Stream because of the oil spills that are underground in the water. So we have figured out through channeling, and no Harvard degree is necessary here, because that can be proven any day, that if the apparatus is placed at certain nodal points within the bed of where this big Gulf Stream runs through, you can enhance the thermodynamics underwater and bring that back. The problem is right now it's basically buffered and disrupted because the oil is like an insulator, and we have channeled this, that the natural flow of energy is disrupted because you have these oil pockets that don't dissolve, and they can't dissolve because they decrease the light that's coming in from upstairs. It's physics, sunlight being refracted underwater has certain information. The water needs order to stay in a certain equilibrium. Without that, what happens to water? Put it in a can, put it in aluminum foil, put it in a non-conjugation field, and you'll see your water will rot. Put your water in like a holy well that's sitting on nodal points, which means focal points of energies that meet, and you'll see your water stays enhanced for a very, very long time, and it has health benefits to the body. So that has to do with the earth also. We can bring that back. So let's say the stream runs this way, and we place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big crystalline water time and sound sequence programmed modules in there. The oil will naturally dissolve, and to enhance that, there's another guy, he created this what's called idle water. He can turn oil into chlorophyll in 10 minutes, which actually takes nature 10 million years. Isn't that interesting? So the technology is here, so you can pump in level 15 pH water, which is super alkaline water, from upstairs into the stream with a big tank. This project would probably cost millions of dollars, but you know where money is being spent. Anybody who steps up and makes that problem has the go away, has the capacity. Right now, we have the capacity to heal it instant. If anyone is interested in getting together on a higher level with technology, really high level technology, that can be done. So the thermodynamics and the Gulf Stream can be corrected again, and waters and riverbanks and oceans can heal. You know, it is the call that we have received also telepathically from certain members of our crew, ground crew staff here on Earth, that the dolphins are calling that we need to get into action, start healing certain areas in the ocean, which is imperative. It is that important that you know, certain beings might need time to understand that it is about the survival of the species and the evolution of consciousness, which is, you can't imagine where this will lead in 1,000 or 2,000 years. You can't even fathom that unless those members out there of extraterrestrial beings in human form, you know who you are. And I mean, this is all of us. It's about the level of awareness, knowing that you are that, understanding your dreams are actually reality templates to teach you and train you and prepare you to, when things happen, that you don't go cuckoo, that you handle that, and you have basically TV, comic books, Hollywood superheroes to explain you the things of a possible nature in time, that you're not so spooked when you see things happening. Also, another book that we recommend is China's Super Psychics. I don't know the author right now, but China was a study of kids that have phenomenal talent that nobody can explain. We call them anomalies or mutations, which we strongly suggest and advise. This is not an anomaly or mutation. This is a preparation indeed that will explain to you in detail where the human race is going and what will be developed. Thus, it will lead to communities where those beings will live together in sensitivity, understanding that the level of friendship or relationships we had will dissolve in a completely new interdependent, that you can have company by choice or not. It's not based on a marital status, age. It's about also understanding your twin flame is not an external partner that you seek as a confirmation that you love yourself, looking at your reflection. It has also been channeled from the Arcturian group around February 15th, that it is about the twin flame is your higher self, is what is within. And if you can fall in a lot of things and perceptions of what love is and how love is being shared and by what choice, will give you a completely different understanding and perspective of why you are here and how independent you actually are. And it is not necessarily by family members needed to get the validation of love, because relationships in the past were based on what? Codependency. Somebody always makes more money than the other, or somebody makes less money than the other, or the drops where somebody makes no money and the partner makes money. Who's my caretaker? Where's my caretaker? Looking at governmental structures to take care of kids. If parents don't agree with one another, there's no community to take care of kids and raise kids. That will be restructured into tribal living, as in, if there is a unit that fails to operate as a parental unit, you will have actually a community, as in a village, to raise the child healthy and well. That is what will be reintegrated and reinserted into the consciousness, that you'll understand that part of living. People that understand that will, in the future, whether this sounds crazy or not, for those who get the drift, will have a call or an urge or a feeling to move to the suburbs, to get into a community of less crowded areas, less law enforcement running the streets, less criminal activity, as in what I call the harmful for the human race, not the one that concerns governmental structures and governmental finances and correction, that their finances will go to where the finances only go to the people that stack it up and pile it up and don't do anything and don't do distribution. There will be laws implemented where things have to be distributed at a certain level of income for communal service and community funds. That's all coming in. Call it cities of light, meaning lighter being, lighter existence, owning property, zero bill buildings that you have solar powers, or Unity generators that are already online, that people are already selling basically from their homes, putting them together by themselves. It's not even necessary to have a patent. If the patent industry can't even catch up or follow the technology that's being created, then they need to study, which is evident. So lots of good things are happening as this planet is being cleared. Lots of good things are being installed into the consciousness of the human race as this happens. And I'm doing this in memory of Leonard Nimoy, who passed away, rest in peace, Spock, who inspired many out there. And we know where the truth is, going back a little bit to the Star Trek phenomenon. They started the series and Hollywood was laughing, thinking, that formula would never work. You can never have, a bunch of people, mixed races on one deck, as in the flying UN, trying to solve problems throughout space. It wouldn't catch on. Interestingly, they had at the same time, I think 1962, they had a German series that they tried that looked just like Star Trek. It was called Space Patrol Orion, and it had to do with Space Patrol coming from the Orion system. They also had a higher directive. They only had 6 episodes, and then Germany canceled that because the German consciousness at that time was not responsive. So the US consciousness responded like firecrackers, and when they stopped the series, it was heard that over 500,000 letters went to, I think, was it NBC or ABC that was televising that first, and they said you have to continue. And basically they continued the series ever since. And some felt drawn to it and some thought it is utter crap, but it created a reaction, meaning so there's something in us that reacts to it, because if it's not important, there's no reaction. And that was actually designed and channeled to enhance the understanding of what is out there. So people, there are things that are very real. People that have been in contact. I mean, you look at things, the latest Star Trek thing starts with Class M planet Nibiru. You wonder, why is that in the script? Or there was one where I don't know if it was Star Trek Voyager with a doctor, the female with the red hair, and I think First Contact, where they had to pick up the sister from ground level before the warp drive was developed. It was the initial phase where the Vulcans would watch the human race. Will they actually develop light speed and then initiate contact? Because then they would deem it is now the level of consciousness where first contact can take place. So in that movie First Contact, there's a scene that's so funny where they pick up a lady, they sedate her, they bring her on a ship, and the crew members discuss this, which many abductees or people that have visitations experience the same thing, where the doctor says, keep her sedated, you can't have her waking up on a ship. And people try to wake up on a ship and they keep them sedated, and you gotta blank their memories. They shouldn't remember that they've been here. It's so funny how this is all in the movie script that actually takes place, that they blank your memory, they keep you sedated, they keep you under, they fix you, they correct you. You don't even know what happened to you, and you're right back. So everything that you do, you have guardian angels. Everything that humans do is being monitored in a nice way. Every birth that is given is even checked from the ship with the energetic template body from upstairs. And all kids, most of the kids that are born today are all based on a hybrid race creation, so we can survive actually on this planet. The junk DNA no longer is defined. Junk DNA, it's the hybrid, you can say ET DNA of yourself that has codons that will actually activate according to what you see. So certain images will be made visible. Once you see them, you respond. You'll see stuff in there that others won't see until you reach the level of universal consciousness where everybody can see the same images. Meaning we will connect and agree and work together, and basically when we stop hating one another or sending hate votes to whatever it is, we will stop losing power. It's also psychologically proven, if you go somewhere and send hate in boycott, and it doesn't matter what the being is doing, doesn't matter if it's government, CIA, Man in Black, or your neighbor, or whatever you want to hate, you putting yourself in deficit. What helps is not to ignore violence, knowing when to defend your rights, but not act and respond in violence. It's more send love, Meditate from your home, the best energy possible coming from you for the best possible outcome, because you are the modulator of reality, not the ones that are robots that react unconscious in violence and barbaric. We want to stay away from that and suggest for you to stay away from that. We don't argue, we're not here to convince, it's about resonance. So even if you would be on a video and you send a negative vote that has no effect on what the opinion is, even though you have a right to have an opinion. They tested people like lift weights. Guy lifts weights and then says, okay, now think something negative and be against me. And the dude concentrates and really focuses and said, now lift the same weight. Let's say let it be 30 pounds, so we have an edge here. Well, he wasn't able to lift the 30 pounds no more. Because when you work against the consciousness that is actually an aspect of you, you're working against yourself. Also know, when you're out there in the field, every human being that responds to you is the consciousness responding according to the level of resonance that you are. So if you go out one day and you're at the bank teller, nothing works. You're at the post office, nothing works. You're trying to find a parking spot, nothing works. Maybe you go home, recalibrate yourself, and come again, because this is just an answer to where you are. So the external should not be blamed. It is the internal that actually makes the world work. And nothing has any impact on you unless you give it meaning. So you are fully in charge and responsible for the new consciousness that's being downloaded into you. So I'm hoping that we have new friends, new colleagues that share the same opinion, that are in the same resonance with us, and bless you and see you, like we used to say, on the flip side. So live long and prosper. That's what you're here for. An extraterrestrial being in human form that has come back as a volunteer. Read Dolores Cannon, Convoluted Universe. You are the volunteer. You came here by your choice, out of love, to bring Earth back on its course in all beings for the highest possible outcome. The highest and most glorious, eventful things for you, abundance to you in all ways, in magical ways, as you observe the synchronicities as they take place in the here and now. And we are very proud and very honored and very blessed that you're with us. And nobody is better. You're all the same. You're all captains. You're all commanders. You're all druids, wizards, scribes, warriors. You have all the archetypes within you. You have all the information stored within your gene pool. Now it's time to access and step into your role. Step into action and handle your business as a rightful citizen of this planet, in this dimension, in this galaxy, at a theater near you. Peace out.